together. We use the same clip that we used on the UK. We have 3 different blade shapes. We use a leaf, we use a drop point, and then we have a rescue style blade that we also use serrated. We work with the Brits to get them right, and actually the British Blade Forums helped us design the knife.
Got a gray leaf version. That's C94 FRN. Here comes the same knife in blue, C94 FRN. Really like that color of blue. It's something different, kind of a shale, paler blue. It's cool. Here comes a maroon drop point, C94 FRN3. And then to top it off, check it, discontinued, it's C94 GFG, foliage green G10 version. Eat your heart out. Those are the UK pen knives. Hello everybody, this is Nutnfancy old school knife review, and you might be surprised I'm talking about a non-locking blade. You know, I'm kind of known for my tactical blade reviews. I like tactical knives. Ain't no hiding it. Been doing it for 4 years. Love it. But I also like the UK pen knife. Maybe love it if we're talking about this one right here. And there's really 2 reasons I'm doing this review. One is I do think that in their own right, even though they're not locking blades, they are excellent little knives. Super lightweight, I'll talk about that. But also I'm doing it for my friends across the world, subscribers to the Nutnfancy Project who cannot, because of where they live, own a locking blade. And I want to throw this out as an alternative to you guys. You probably already know about it. I mean, these have been out a long time. However, I want it in my playlist as options for my subscribers, my friends. There you go. UK pen knife. Let's tear into the talking points. Dudes, you already know it. These are not tactical blades. Well, I guess if you're really in an emergency and you don't have anything else, they could be, but they don't lock and they could fold right there on your fingers and do a lot of damage to you depending on how you're using them. You know, slash cut, the blade folds on you. There is a certain way you can hold them that would mitigate that, but no, I don't recommend that. They're utility blades. And depending on who you are, they might be either really, really good utility blades, maybe excellent, smack my tripod, or they could be maybe not so great utility blades. And the reason I say that is if you're a hard user of your blades, in other words, like a rancher, a farmer, and you're doing a lot of cutting, and maybe there's a chance you may be swinging past, you know, it may not be the best option. However, for most folks doing light utility tasks, opening packages, the stuff I always talk about, food preparation, maybe some minor surgery, you know, first aid stuff, they'd be great blades. That's it. These are EDC blades, and let's talk to the weight. They weigh like nothing. Seriously, for the size of blade you're getting, and that's one of the huge upsides to the UK pen knives, 2 ounces. 2 ounces? That's like featherweight. You know, my reference EDC is a Flash 1. That's a 1.2 ounce blade, but it's nowhere near the size of this one. And I'm talking about all 4 of these on the table. The only coloration I don't have, subject to change, I mean, Spyderco and Sal, he'll change the colors off and on, but there's a black I think they're making in one of these versions. But I have a good representation, maroon, blue, gray, you know. You're getting a lot of blade for that 2 ounce weight. And that makes it just a fabulous everyday carry knife in terms of weight and compactness. The blade length is 2.9 inches for a 2 ounce knife. Incredible. Now when we talk about the more upscale version, this one right here, C94 GFG. This is discontinued. Sorry, I should have done my review early enough where you could score one. You could find one on the secondary market. They also, one I don't have on the table, they're making the UK pen knife in titanium for 2012. Going to be a lot more expensive, a little bit more heavier. More heavier? How about a little heavier? Yeah, so this one is 2.4 ounces. G10 version. Decent though. Those are great weights. Let's talk about the steel, and I'll start off with this since I'm there already. Cpm S30v on this one. That's a pretty good steel choice, especially when we talk about value and what this blade cost. Excellent choice. Full flat ground. I engraved this one. Testing the blade hardness there, marking it so no one forgets to return it to me. There's Sal's mark on it. Cool. Love it. Full flat ground. Obviously, if you haven't sensed it yet, this is my favorite UK penknife. But not just because it's Cpm S30v. There's another reason. We'll talk about it here in a second. You may have already detected it. It's just a beautiful, classic pen shape. My EDC today has not been these. In fact, I've lightly carried these. Very lightly. And there's a reason for that, because I'm going to kind of get rid of them. How about the Delica 4 FFG? That's my EDC today. You can see the family resemblance. And I just flipped when the FFG versions came out of the Endura, the Delicas. Man, I was just excited. Still am. I'm so glad to see they're selling well, by the way. Here's a little aside, is that the FFG versions have not gone away. When we talked to Sal at SHOT 2011, he wasn't so sure. He's like, yeah, we're going to run them. We'll see how they do. And I've been a huge proponent for them sticking around, really crossing my fingers they would sell well. They're still around for 2012, subject to change. Good news, because that FFG is such a good slicing blade. This one's in VG10, all around medium quality, maybe upper medium quality steel. Love it. Cpm S30v. I've talked about that a lot. Excellent edge holding, a little bit harder to sharpen, good rust resistance. You can say that about both these knife steels. Great knife, 2.4 ounces, just still super lightweight. Now this one's in a blade steel. Let me pop another one out so you can see it. Deploying these off camera so I don't smack my camera tripod. It's called Bd1 Steel. From what I can gather, it's a fine-grained steel, easy enough to sharpen. It has pretty good edge holding. A step up from 440A, step up from AUS 8, maybe not so awesome as 8CR13 MOV, my mileage. I did not do any hard cutting tests on this Bd1 steel. I love the finish on it though. Look at that. It's kind of that bright, polished finish. It kind of reminds me of the Krupp 4116 that Cold Steel uses. In fact, they're probably pretty similar. I'm just guessing on that though. No data to support it, so don't quote me, man. Let's check the sharpness. Huh, got a Troy Battle Mag packaging material here. We'll check it. I usually don't do this on camera. Oh man, does it arrive sharp out of box though. Oh, daddy like. That is a sharp blade. Well done, Spyderco. By the way, all these knives on the table, made in Golden, Colorado, USA produced blades. So you aficionados of the US blades, check it. UK pen knives. It's kind of funny wearing the UK name, made in the United States. How about blade shapes? Which one would you think is my favorite after watching my knife reviews forever? I already said it. I like the leaf shape. It's just classic, more useful. The drop point's okay. This is kind of stretch looking, don't you think? Very much stretch looking. Both are excellent. They're not full flat ground in these more affordable FRN handled versions. Wah, wah. Can't get everything. But you know, it's just a minor point. Well, maybe a little bit more minor point in my own weirdness. But they cut well. I mean, we've been working with the classic Delicas and Enduras with a hollow grind like these have, and they do great. Still have those in my own collection. Still use them. They're fine. I just like FFG. That's all I'm saying. That's my preferred. This one's not too far behind. And of course, that full flat grind is amazing. How about speed? Speed and deployment is excellent. Let me see if I can do that. I didn't really do it so good because I got my arm wrapped around the camera tripod. Off camera, I can do it real quick. Speed is good. Maybe excellent. But it doesn't lock. And here comes a criticism of the UK pen knives FRN versions. I think they have a half lock spring on the back spring. Okay, on the G10 version, full. Now that being said, I still think they could stiffen this one up because it folds too easily. Don't like that. It should be tougher to fold. All three of these knives are like that, the UK pen knives. And that's one reason why the Nutnfancy project acquired all threes, that is buying them from recommended retailer, you'll see later on. Because I wanted to check it. I was like, well, maybe I just got a sample that folds really easy. Nope, they're all that way. This one folds much more positively. In fact, you really got almost a two-hand, because if you push it down, you could actually pop it and cut your finger. So this has really positive detents in it. Listen to it. And then I'll deploy it off camera. Listen. Sounds like a Delica coming out, doesn't it? Locks really tight. This is a nice knife. Oh, it's basically a really nice Delica that doesn't lock. It's a G10 Delica. It just doesn't lock. Now, don't get me wrong. These are not like you can't use them. I'll jump ahead to a little ergonomic thing, and that is, I'm going to get rid of these right here. The jimping on all these knives is perfection. Something that Spyderco has been getting right for a couple of years now. It's just perfection. And so you can actually put your index finger in that choil there, lock it in, and so now you kind of got a safety mechanism so you're not going to fold it onto your fingers. Okay, and as a utility knife, it's going to be ideal. Defensively, forget about it. Would never do that unless I had no choice at all. I think, though, they fold too easily. I'll just leave it at that. So, by the way, the lockup, as you can see, you can tighten the pivot point there, side to side, no movement. And all three knives up and down, as long as you don't like start to fold it like that, they're nice. Again, that's the winner. Handle material, if I can speak. Well, FRN, fiber reinforced nylon, no steel liners. Oh, thank heavens. Well, that's why it's a 2-ounce knife. You get carried away and you put steel liners in there, something we generally don't need in an EDC knife. Not generally, we never need them in an EDC knife, my mileage. It's nice. Love the handle. Look at how thin it is. You can take it apart, mini Torx screws there. Traction is medium, not super high. Kind of looks like G10 in a way. You got to look closely at it. Let me show you that blue. Really like that. I like all the colors. These are probably my two favorite. Gray's probably my, I don't know. I like gray too. Either one. They're cool. Take them apart if you need to. Finger grooves there. Ergonomically in hand, they fit fine. Stuff we've seen from Spyderco all along. Let's take a look at the G10 version. That's kind of upper, I would almost call that high traction G10 on the back of that. Because the back spring there, it's not open like it is partially on the FRN model to let stuff flow through it. So you're going to have to blow it out with compressed air once in a while. No steel liners in this one. Huge win. Ergonomically, no hard corners on these knives. You can see how they're rounded in profile. Let's look at the FRN one. Oh yeah, comfortable knives. One thing I sometimes forget in my reviews, blade centering and blade retention in the closed position. Blade centering on all three of these, or four of these knives, from what I can see, is outstanding. Blade retention, pretty good. I mean, I can probably shake it out. Let me do it off camera. Yeah, you can shake it out. It's medium blade retention. That's what you'd expect for a slip joint knife, right? Pretty good. Handle materials, of course, the G10 is going to take it, but remember the price difference too. Ergonomics. Overall, I've already talked about it. Jimping's great. In hand, it's great. What do I have on this one? I've cut something with that. I don't know. Clip design. Oh, dudes. I said this in my Sage review. This is one of my favorite clips that Spyderco does. It's very utilitarian. It doesn't look that special, but one thing I love is it carries deep. This tension wire clip. It's strong. It doesn't bend easily. You can tighten it up if you need to. You just unscrew it and bend it a little bit more if you need more pocket tension. And it's really unobtrusive. It doesn't stick out like a big, I don't know, blade type clip would. That's a home run clip design we've seen on all kinds of Spyderco designs. It's on the UK pen knife. Let's look at it on this one. Same thing. You can see the finishing on it. That takes us to durability. Well, like I said, I didn't hard use these knives. There's probably some more data points out there where you can find exactly how, they cut if you're interested, and how the blade steel wears, the rust resistance. I really don't have that data at this point, so I'm not going to talk to it. I think from what I know, my research on the Bd1 Steel, definitely the S30v, this one right here, going to be fabulous. Wear and tear if you're hard using the knife. I think it'll be just adequate as long as you don't abuse it, what I say all the time. On we go to value. Keep in mind, super lightweight, good blade finishing, medium quality steel, logo, made in the United States of America. Really nice handle, not jacked up with steel liners, thank you very much. Perfect clip, $36. Spyderco USA. That's enough where even if you are a lock back fan, maybe a liner lock fan, you might want to think about grabbing one of these knives. A US produced Spyderco knife, razor sharp, easy to sharpen. after you're done with it. I don't know. I'm still going to keep the criticism on there. They fold too easily. They need to correct that. Put a stronger spring in there. Make it like that one. That one's perfect. $36 more or less for the FRN versions. This is again the leaf. There's the drop point right there. I think they have some partially serrated versions, which I hate. Hate it. Don't like Spyderco serrations. Way too coarse. Yeah. Now the foliage G10, as if you could get it, you can't. Let's pretend you could. I think TMP paid around $50 for this. Look in the upper right, that's where I recommend you go get your Spyderco knives. Maybe I'll give you two sources. There you go, two sources. Both of them have awesome service, awesome prices. And that's where these knives came from. Purchased from them. Cool factor. This one takes a cake, man. Totally takes a cake. G10, like I said, it's just an upscale G10 Endura, not Endura, but Delica more or less. FFG just doesn't lock. These don't have any cool factor at all for me. These FRN ones. Sorry, they don't. They're just utility knives. USA produced. I think they're excellent. The only really, the real criticism I can level at the UK pen knives FRN versions is they close too easily. If you fix that and make them nice and stiff, well, basically like this, they're home runs. You know, well, maybe not home runs because I don't know enough about the Bd1 Steel, and this steel definitely. That's the Nutfancy review. See ya.